Jim Schenkel, you're standing outside of Razorback Stadium at the Champions for Kids 10th Annual Razor Fest. Tell us who you're talking to.
Well, we're talking here to Maxie Carpenter. Maxie is Director of Operations for the Samaritan Samaritan Ministries in Northwest Arkansas. Maxie's an old friend of mine, actually. I was pleased to have you here, Maxie, first of all. Maxie and I got to know each other about 4 years ago. He has spent many years with Sam Walton at Walmart, and he has been working with the nonprofit that's the largest feeding operation in Northwest Arkansas. So obviously they have a lot of love for kids and for families. I'll let him tell you about what they do and what they do to support kids.
Well, Jim, the Samaritan Community Centers has been in operation for about 20 years. It started out as an outreach of Fellowship Bible, and then about 12 years ago broke out into its own 501(c) because it was growing so fast. The primary ministry is feeding, as you just mentioned. We feed about 7,000 meals, 7,000 kids a week through our Snack Packs program, which is our largest program, but it's one of many programs that we have. We have our counseling programs, our medical and dental services. We have our cafes and our pantries. So last year our cafes fed about 80,000 meals, and then we have our Samaritan shops who provide about a third of our operating revenue, but also provide clothing through a clothing voucher that we have for kids in the community too. So we're totally, completely vested in helping this continuing problem of feeding the insecure.
And let me say this, Maxie, I've been fortunate a couple of times to get invited over by Maxie to have lunch, and they do feed well, so it's not something that's poor. Y'all get a lot of support also from the local companies here, companies like Walmart and Tyson and others. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, our primary focus is on relationship building. The nonprofit landscape is changing to such a degree that the idea of annual funding events is kind of fading away into more events like this, where you're actually having community acknowledgement events, where you don't only just celebrate your victories, celebrate all of the activities, but you celebrate your donors, you celebrate your partners, and you just continue acknowledgement. And it's all part of a marketing process, which a marketing skill is what a lot of nonprofits lack. But this event here today is a great example of a marketing outreach on a continuum that simply communicates to people and lets them know what's going on, but more importantly, it tells the story. And telling the story is what fundraising is all about. You've got to know how to tell the story. You've got to teach everyone in the organization how to tell the story. You've got to teach your partners how to tell the story. And so it's just great to see something like this going on in the community. It's a great example of what I'm talking about.
Well, it really is, and I'll tell you, Maxie told me about their I'll let you explain what it is, but a dinner, appreciation dinner that y'all had over at First Baptist Church of Rogers a couple of weeks ago. They have about, Samaritan has about 400 on average, I guess, of volunteers a week will come over, but what Maxie has done is instilled a program along with their staff to be able to appreciate the things that they're bringing. It's not just money, not just time, it's just their heart. It's so important. So they actually ended up with a huge turnout of, I mean, it's just unusual, but it shows how when you really give and take care of your volunteers and your donors, what they'll do to give back.
And you know, Jim, it's the only annual event that we have, and credit for that event has to go to Debbie Rambar, Executive Director. She started that event a few years ago. It's just morphed into this amazing acknowledgement of the community, all of our partners, our corporate partners, but more importantly, our volunteers. We really go a long way to cultivate relationships with our volunteers. And we have, as you said, about 400 volunteers that we schedule in and out of our facilities every day of every week. And they're committed, some of them having been there over 15, 20 years. So at this last event, we gave out 4 presidential award winners. Those are very, very rare. They acknowledge and celebrate over 4,000 hours of service. And if you think about that, that's commitment, that's investment. And to not acknowledge that and integrate that acknowledgement into your marketing program is a big miss.
How many families or children's lives will they expect to touch in 2014?
Debbie, in 2014, we'll touch over 200,000 families and their children.
Pretty impressive.
That's very impressive, and it just makes my heart happy to hear that.
You bet. We're this ministry is growing. It's expanding into Springdale, which is in Washington County, and we have our sights set on Fayetteville too. And as the need grows, we're going to grow with the need, which is really what the ministry is all about, to grow with the need.
Well, as we said earlier, it's surprising in an area that's as moving as Northwest Arkansas is, where we've got Walmart, Tyson, J.B. Hunt, University of Arkansas, and all the suppliers, 1,400 suppliers who support Walmart and Sam's Club. It's remarkable how often kids are homeless or have, just simply aren't fed properly. So, Maxie, you guys are doing a great service, and we appreciate what you do.
Okay, thank you much, Jim. Appreciate being here with you today. Have a good time the rest of the day.
We're loving it.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Good talking with you.